Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Football.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Football post-game show presented by Bet Saracen. I am your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your evening this evening as we are, yes, Arkansas lost to Texas 52-37. They are 2-9 with one game left. And I guess we'll talk some about the game, but we'll also get probably pretty heavily into the latest with the coaching search. But fellas, how we feeling after that barn burner of a game down there in Austin?
It happened. The most excited and interested I was throughout the course of that game was after they teased us that Pete Thamel was going to have an update, and then we waited for like 30 minutes of real time before they put him on the screen. But no, I mean, I guess it kind of went like I expected. I thought they were super competitive in the first half. Kalen got benched after maybe the worst interception I've ever seen thrown there. I know he's grabbing his hamstrings too, whatever. So we got to see KJ Jackson play. Andrew, you called it with Arch Manning, Arkansas's defense making him look like a Heisman candidate. People thought he was in the preseason. That's that. 9 straight losses, boys, 2-9. Here we are. We're Missouri away from Ophir in the SEC this year. Good grief.
Well, guys, the Hogs, they fought hard. They competed to the end. They competed their tails off. They fought together as brothers. If you give Bobby a D coordinator, I'm kidding. The game was fine. I enjoyed watching KJ Jackson get some experience. I think we all kind of saw it at the moment when the Taylor Green era ended. And KJ didn't do anything crazy, but good to see him get some experience. I think it went about how we thought it might go. You guys predicted 1-score loss. I predicted blowout. Or John, did you predict blowout?
No, I predicted 25-22.
You had a 1-score loss too, and yeah. I had a blowout, and they were kind of right in between, honestly, but they had shades of both. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about the coaching search. I promise I'm going to be nice on this stream. We talked about it before. We set our morale. It's very high. We're going to have some good discourse with you, good dialogue. We're going to be respectful, and we're all going to talk about our beautiful, precious swine in the most respectful way possible.
That's going to last for about 5 seconds, but we'll do our best. We will do our best to make it happen. But let's be honest, folks. There's if you want to talk about the game, we may get into some elements of the game. That's fine. But I think everybody's just at the point like we did on our pregame show. It's about the coaching search, and we were kind of thinking about, oh man, I guess we'll react to the game. Maybe if they won, that'd be kind of cool. But luckily, Pete Thamel came down with manna from heaven on a certain particular report that he had, where, this is a guy who's plugged in on ESPN. They kept teasing it. It felt like it was eons until we finally got to hear from him. But he finally gets up in front of the camera on ABC national television and breaks down a little piece of the latest in the coaching search. And fellas, he has 4 names that he has been hearing. And trust me, they're brand new names we haven't heard before. Actually, they're a lot of the same. But he says Eric Morris, Ryan Silverfield, Alex Golish, and Kane Womack are the 4 names in the mix for the Razorback head coaching job.
Well, judging on the responses to me just tweeting out what he said, people think that's bullshit. And then he doesn't know what he's talking about and everything like that. And listen, I understand, smoke screens and diversions and all that stuff. But, this is a very, very, very well-respected guy who was on the ABC national broadcast to deliver that news. I don't know if he would go up there and chill himself out and look like an idiot on national television. Like what's in it in return for him? I guess he's going to do his bidding for Eurocheck. So I have no choice but to take him seriously. What he said there. The 4 names aren't a surprise. It's 4 names that we've talked about quite a bit here, and I might be a lot more excited about 2 of them than others. And I think what's got people up in arms is that there are, a couple names out there that, kind of the more splashy, the more sexy that have been, rumored, smoke, whatever out there for Arkansas, and them not being included in that update, I think has people really, really worked up. But if that is your 4 finalists or whatever, and this is coming to conclusion in the next few days, I think you'll wind up being in a pretty good spot. That's what I think about the conversation here.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm with you that those 4 names are names that we've talked about before, and so that's why I was very surprised, just like you guys were, at how many people were very dismissive of Pete Thamel's report. And I'm not here to like even argue Pete Thamel's legitimacy, frankly. I just think that's a data point and that's interesting. And like we've said, if he had come out here and listed 4 names that nobody's ever heard, and it was like, oh crap, yeah, they're going after, this guy from Boise State and this guy, and we'd be like, oh wow, that's, new information. And so maybe I would have been taken back by it. But when I heard those names, I honestly just didn't even bat an eye. I was kind of like, okay, yeah, like that's kind of where if you listen to our show this morning, frankly, on the pregame show, we talked a lot about Matt Campbell, but what we said about Matt Campbell was it seems far-fetched, and we don't know why he would have interest in Arkansas. And so those names are guys we've talked about before, and I'm not saying you guys have to believe Pete Thamel. If you don't believe him and you say, hey, he's full of crap, well within your rights, like do what you got to do. But that does kind of track with where we thought this coaching search was kind of shaping up to end in our heads, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I mean, just as a reiteration of the situation with the coaching search, it's been going on since the beginning of it all. There are going to be names that are thrown out that there's a lot of people that, whether it's in the chat or in the Discord or on social media, that are going to be like, I hate that person. It's a disaster. It's going to be awful. And there's others that people love and will say that it's going to be the greatest ever. It's like, you're just not going to please everybody. Like, it's just 100% not going to please anybody. There are these 4 names that got thrown out. There's a bunch of people, as you guys already mentioned, saying all bunch of trash, might as well shut the program down. And, it's just, people are going to react that way because it's emotion and tension and everything. But as you guys laid it out perfectly, Pete Thamel this is kind of the first, and not to take anything away from NACOS or any of the other local media or anything. This is kind of the first major national big thing, again, being on national television, of ESPN and all that, of somebody coming out about specifically the Arkansas Razorback head coaching search and giving specific names tied to it. So that is significant. And like you said, you don't have to believe it, but it's very significant. And that's why I think we'd be pressed to just say, hey, let's go ahead and assume that it is correct. Like, I'm going to assume that these are the 4 names. It's not to say that they can't, pull a wool over the curtain or whatever it is. But the point is, these are the 4 names. And we've done making the case, I think, for all of them except for Kane Womack at this point in time. But, I feel like Golish and Eric Morris are the 2 that I really like. And I've kind of liked from the beginning. I think I could see it there. Silverfields is, but it's not like it's trash. The Kane Womack one, though, is the one that really, I'm trying to remember, Curtis, I think you were the one first brought it up to me, like when his name first emerged, because he's been the latest addition to this. And I guess it's picked up a little bit of steam here. I don't remember how long ago it was, though.
Yeah, I don't know, week, 10 days ago, I guess it would be. So, yeah, I'm kind of with you. The one on there that would excite me the least would be Silverfield. And everybody knows that they listen to this show. Like, I have made my damnedest best attempt to make the case for that man. But I would be okay, I think, with the other 3. The Womack thing is interesting. I don't know about the coordinator route, but I get it. It is Bama. He does have some head coaching experience, SEC experience. Like, all those things are there. So that would be interesting. It would be one of those. And we talked about it, I guess, yesterday, of the what would his staff look like? And like the pieces he would have around him and everything. I like both Golish and Morris. And I think there could be some interesting names that would follow them that they could be pretty cool there. So some intriguing options for me, like, if they wind up with any of the 4 of them, like I said, once they get this over with and we've like turned the page and we have a clean slate and a fresh start, I'm all in, man. Like, I'm throwing my full support at whoever it is they bring in here from a coaching standpoint. Like, if people want to be pissed about the hire and the administration or whatever, fine, sure, okay. But as far as the new coach and the football program, like, I'm fired up and ready to see whoever it is, what they can do. And listen, like the Matt Campbell thing, I want to say one more thing about that. I think he makes a ton of sense for Arkansas. I just don't know how much sense Arkansas makes for him, given his situation. You know what I mean? And so, like, if they were able to pull that off, here's what it would tell me. It would tell me that, the murmurs that we heard behind the scenes about them making this big commitment financially, putting the resources in the program, really taking football seriously for a change, and, the bright future, the stars are aligned, all those things would be true. If that happens, let's go parade in the streets. But for right now, with these names that are out there, I could talk myself into any of them, particularly Golish and Morris.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, man, about Campbell specifically. Campbell is a guy that went to Iowa State. He was at Toledo, had a lot of success, went to Iowa State and built up a program that was really in the gutter and had not accomplished much. He made them relevant. I would imagine if he is going to take another job, he would not be going somewhere where, I know rebuilding's different in the NIL era and it's not a long drawn out process necessarily. I don't think he would want to go somewhere where he's going to have to be a savior and he's going to have to really start from the ground up and build all those new relationships. So that's why I've always been skeptical. And again, and me saying that is not me trying to like throw cold water or be like, it's a pipe dream or whatever. That's my way of saying if Arkansas pulls that off, like you said, celebrate in the streets, like that would be awesome to me. I would be extremely fired up. I would be excited. I also would be excited with Eric Morris, just based on the very limited information we have on Eric Morris and that we've kind of developed. I like what I see. I like the package there. I think he's a bright young guy that is on an upward trajectory and has learned from some good guys. I would get excited for that. I would see why fans maybe wouldn't be excited about any of the group of 5 guys because you want that big name. You want a guy that's proven it in the SEC. And so I'm not even really right now going to be like, hey, you have to be excited about it. And maybe I'll never do that. But me personally, I would be excited with Morris. I'd be excited with Golish. Those have been my top 2 for a while now. I've always kind of held Golish as my number 1 group of 5 guy. I got to be honest, guys. In the last few days, I've kind of become Team Morris. I like Team Morris, and I'll be very thrilled with either one. I'll be perfectly fine. I would also be cool with Silverfield. The only one I would be pretty upset with is Womack, and we've talked about that. We can talk about it more if we want. Even him, it wouldn't be the most stunning thing that I think we should be like revolting at the U of A necessarily.
If this happens in the next few days, kind of like Thamel said, it could. He didn't say it will, but what do you say? The search is reaching its culmination and should have clarity in the next few days or whatever. So if that happens, tomorrow or early next week or whatever, that would probably mean Morris wouldn't be the guy, right? Assuming they win tonight, because they'd still be playing for a potential playoff spot. Like Golish, yeah, I mean, you're going to have a bowl game or whatever, but like their season is over from a standpoint of like the huge stuff there. Womack, he's a defensive coordinator. He'd be like you see that all the time with those guys getting hired. Silverfield, they're out of the picture for any like the conference title game and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Like, would they really announce like an Eric Morris if they're 10-1 and if you beat Navy, then you're like in the American title game and you're like a win away from the CFP? I don't know if they do that.
Real quick, I want to get John's thoughts on this actually. You call me crazy because I get it. It would be kind of a hard sell for him to leave his team right before the playoff. At the same time, if you're the head coach of North Texas and you're about to go to the playoff and, be a lamb to slaughter, I know he's wired a certain way and he probably thinks he's going to win. And you're taking a job. Is it the craziest thing in the world to just be like, hey, I've gotten you guys here. Good luck with the playoff game. I'm going to leave you in the great hands of interim coach whoever, and best of luck. I'll be praying for you guys. Maybe I'll even come watch you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and do my thing. Would that be the craziest thing in the world?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think so, because this is why it's unprecedented, guys. And you guys know this, but it's like the playoff stuff has really thrown everything into a loop when it comes to what we've known about timing and coaching hires and things like that. I mean, with the transfer portal, because everything is so chaotic right now. Like you're seeing it with the Lane Kiffin stuff. Like it's chaos. Where normally, if this was 10 years ago and Ole Miss, LSU, or Florida were in the same situation, Lane Kiffin can just be like, well, I'm gonna take the job here now, and because I'm not going to go to the championship and I'm out. But because of the playoff, it's just changed everything. Same thing with Eric Morris. Like if this was any other year, it'd be no problem, no ifs, ands, buts about it. You're good to go. But because of the fact that it's like, man, are you going to just peace out on your team when you got a playoff run? And it's not like in basketball either, like what we saw with the American Gangster, Will Wade, where it's like, well, hey, I'm going to take this job, but I'll still coach. No, you can't do that because you don't have time. You don't have time. You have to get the portal. You got to get to recruiting. You got to start building the staff. So it's a thing to where it's unprecedented. And I don't really know like how this is. And I feel like I can't help but feel like all the timing of everything that's going on is just circling back to the chaos that is, because you're having to wait and see on so many different things right now.
Ultimately, I bet that's why I think Lane is staying at Ole Miss, by the way. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to hash that out and argue and change our mind. I do think Lane is going to wind up announcing that he's coming back to Ole Miss and it's going to be this huge hero's welcome. But how does that change things if obviously maybe Arkansas will have already had their decision made then, but if Lane leaves Ole Miss right before they go to the playoff, then I think that's going to kind of open the floodgates to where next year, if someone's in that same spot, they will probably do the same thing. And it's very different because we've talked about this, by the way, about these coaches that are competing for conference titles and why we think it's unlikely they would leave their team to go to a conference title. Leave their team before they go to the conference title. And you think, how would they not leave for the conference title but leave for the playoff? There's like a month in between, which is a very different situation. You've got a lot of deadlines. I don't know. I really haven't ever thought about it until about 4 minutes ago, but I'm kind of intrigued. I kind of want to see how this plays out now. Hopefully North Texas will just lose to Rice on free beer night tonight, and we won't have to worry about this.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, man. And again, like I'm just because I always have my tweet deck pulled up on my other screen here, just to see like what comes from the press conferences or whatever. And I'm just getting all these notifications from people who are just responding saying this is not real, this is fake, it's all smoke, whatever. I got a text message from a buddy that was like, well, remember right before Cal was hired, the fake names that were put out there. The difference with the Darrell Walker and Chris Jans thing was that was leaked to the ADG. That was, hey, Bob, RIP, miss him. It's coming up on a year since we lost him, but that was given to him. He put it out there, and that was very strategic. This is on a whole nother level of what we saw just now. It's like, I understand the parallels on like the surface level, but it's entirely different from what we witnessed during that basketball search.
When Bob reported that they were interviewing, that Chris Jans and they were interviewing, which is, a thing. I mean, we got a report last week that Gus Malzahn was interviewing. Someone interviewing is very different than someone saying, hey, the search is over and here are the 4 names of who it could be. That isn't even what Bob, like you're saying, that's not even what Bob was reporting. He wasn't saying, hey, these are the 2 candidates, the final 2. You know what I mean? Like, that's very different, but I know what you mean about the parallels.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know we'll get into a lot. We'll get to your chats, folks. But as the great George Costanza said in Seinfeld, when it comes to this stuff, guys, it's not a lie if you believe it. So just keep that energy, folks, for all of you. It's not a lie if you believe it. But we'll continue on here on our Inside Arkansas Football postgame show. And it's presented by our friends over at Bet Saracen. It's Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. For a reason, because they're the best in the business to do it when it comes to all of your sports betting, not only for Razorback football, which is mercilessly coming to an end, but you also got Razorback basketball picking up. You got the NBA, you got the NFL, you got the rest of college football, you got future bets. You have it all. Do it with Bet Saracen. And the best part about it is that if you scan that QR code right there on your screen, or if you click the link below, it'll send you straight to download the app. And when you do, be sure to use that code INSIDEAR. It'll ask you what code to use. We'll use INSIDEAR, where you can bet $25 and get $125. That's an exclusive deal. Bet $25, get $125. You can only do it with Bet Saracen. Again, scan that QR code right there on your screen, or click the link below, download the app, use code INSIDEAR to bet $25 and get $125 with the Bet Saracen app. So guys, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. And I saw somebody just tweeted at me, they're like, well, what percentage do you think it's one of those 4 guys? And I'm like, 95% probably at this point, and it's like, I try to, and we're being nice, and we know that tensions are high, emotions are high and everything, but it's like, sometimes you just kind of look at things and just be like, all right, well, is this the direction it's going? It may not be the one you want, but is it the direction you're going? And then you just got to start looking at it from that perspective. Because I think I even saw someone in the chat, which I know we'll get to, brought it up. It's like, yeah, when you get your hopes up, when you start seeing a James Franklin, when you start seeing, I guess like the Matt Campbell element, or with Dabo getting thrown out randomly, it's like you start seeing that people just say, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. And it's almost unfair in a way, because then it's like, well, we settled for Alex Golish. We settled for Eric Morris. And I think that's kind of an unfair way. I get it, but it's an unfair way to do it, because it's not necessarily settling, because those guys could end up being great. It's just when you have and hear those names that you're so excited about, and then it ends up not being that, you're always going to have a sense of letdown, whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point. Coming into this search, I kind of felt like, man, I'd really love to see Arkansas take a couple swings. And if you hit, then that's awesome. But I also went into it with the mindset of they might wind up kind of right here in this grouping that Thamel's talking about. And so I prepared myself for that. And so the further along we get, the closer we get, and like the stuff that happens today comes out, yeah, man, like I would love something different. I would love something crazy, it's just something that would, send shockwaves or whatever. But I can't expect that at this point. If it happens, like we said, well, I'll celebrate in the streets and everything like that. That'd be great. But I entertained this Matt Campbell stuff a lot today. Like I was watching his game a little bit. I was like, all right, what's he got going on out there? I watched his entire press conference in which he was talking about 2027 recruiting and the future at Iowa State and everything. It's a masterful gambit on his part. Like I was doing the body language thing. I was like, hey, is he squirming up there? And I was also just in case somebody over there was like, hey, don't know if you saw this report from Best of Arkansas Sports that, like you've been connected to this job. Cause sometimes people will do that. That didn't happen over there, but yeah, I was watching him just trying to get a vibe and everything. And I think it would be cool. I think it would be great, but it would also be like, it would be unanimously applauded on the Arkansas front. And then there would also be on the flip side of it, a lot of folks, asking Matt Campbell, what are you doing here? And that's not a shot at Arkansas, but people know the jobs that he's been involved with in the past and some of the opportunities he's had that he's passed up on. And I know there's some things at Iowa State, like they're not in a great position financially, relative to even their conference or whatever. So like, I understand that, but there will be a lot of people who are looking at it going, whoa. And that's why I said what I said earlier. If for some reason that were to happen, then not only would I be fired up about the new head coach at Arkansas, I would be super excited about their situation, the resources and all that stuff moving forward, because it would take that for this to happen.
That's a great point, Curtis. That's well worded. And I think that, 'cause this morning when we were doing this conversation, I started kind of saying that game of why would he go to Arkansas? And people said, well, his salary at Iowa State's not that much. Arkansas would pay him way more. So that would be it. And which is true. But I think if Arkansas were to hire Matt Campbell, you talked about the reaction and how much nationally Arkansas would get love for that. I think these other schools, like I think the reporters, Matt Moscona would be texting John and being like, holy cow, Matt Campbell was an option. Like that's a guy we could have just gotten. We didn't even know that was a thing. You know what I mean? And so that's what I think would happen is people would be asking Matt Campbell, what'd you like about Arkansas over LSU, over Florida, over Auburn, over potentially Ole Miss or Penn State or whoever? Because I remember Josh Pate, the day that James Franklin got fired, doing the thing where he's like, my first call would be Matt Campbell, and I hope he gets the opportunity. I think he and Matt Campbell have a relationship, but I think that would be the big question we'd be having. John, to the point you made, and I thought it was a great one on expectations and setting that for fans. Mm-hmm. I do want the fans to remember who told you, because if you did get your hopes up and said, I thought we were getting Dabo, I thought we were getting this guy, I thought, Campbell was, a done deal. Just remember who told you that, and don't hold us responsible for that necessarily. And if you want to hold us responsible, we did very much talk about the James Franklin thing and thought that Arkansas should take a big swing, which we feel they did, and they just missed. But I feel like, this is a time for you guys to really start thinking about who you get information from, who it is that's setting that bar for you, who it is that's telling you all these awesome things are going to happen, and just consider that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing that it's a very important deal. And, I know I probably keep beating this dead horse, but again, I've gone through coaching searches before, and I think this one is probably the highest emotional one for various reasons, because of the length of time that it's gone on. I think it's because of the importance it is, but also, guys, it goes back to the very core issue where there's just a ton of fans that do not trust the administration. And when you don't trust them, you think that it's just like, even these coaches that you look at or some look at that are considered not as good or whatever, you're just saying, well, because we're average and we're mid and we're going to hire average coaches and mid coaches. And I get it. It's like, it's a very toxic thing surrounding it. And that's where it's a matter of, I'm hopeful that it ends up being, one of these coaches that I'd really like. And there's some that I like more than others, but I'm also, again, it doesn't have to be so black and white where it's either the greatest hire of all time or it's Chad Morris 2.0. Like, you can have it in the middle. And I think most Razorback fans will give him a chance. And especially, again, once they're hired, guys, and they get up and do that press conference and they call the Hogs really greatly and they get all energized, be like, let me tell you something. I remember watching Darren McFadden run through that. It's just, everyone's going to be like, yeah, this guy, I wasn't sold on him before, but now I'm all in. That's all it's going to take. That's all it's going to take.
Oh, one of those guys runs their, their wife up there, because I guess damn near all of them have a wife who's from Arkansas. Oh yeah,
everybody.
know all about the
except
state,
me,
man. Like,
yeah, everybody else gets wives from Arkansas except me, apparently.
yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really unfair that you're subjected to this. But yeah, Eric Morris could go up there and do the thing about having cotton farms in Northeast Arkansas or whatever the hell he was talking about in that story that was written the other day. So yeah, I mean, those guys will be able to endear themselves, and I think that there's some of that four, and yeah, like I get it. Thamel didn't come out and say, hey, these are the four finalists. The four names most linked to the job. So fair enough. Read into it, dissect the words, do whatever you want to do. If it's one of those four, I'll be able to talk myself into it.
Same. And by the way, I do hope that we're being clear and transparent when we say that, like, if you are of the belief of, hey, I don't trust the university, and I've been burned so much with Arkansas football lately, like, frankly, these guys aren't enough to change my overall view of Arkansas football. These guys on this list are not enough to really get me excited. I don't think you're like crazy at all for that. Like, I really am not even going to sit here and be like, no, you're wrong, dude. These dudes are about to freaking crush at Arkansas. Like, I don't feel that way, and I don't think you guys do either. I do think these are guys that you can get behind logistically, and I think there's cases to be made for all of them, and we've made those cases. But I hope that we aren't coming across like we're trying to gaslight y'all into like believing in something that you shouldn't believe in, because that's really not how we feel. And when you do something like this, no matter who it is, it's a big risk. I've seen a lot of people saying that of like, hey, these guys, if we hire them, that's a big risk. I'm like, we're playing football in the SEC at the highest level with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. There are big risks like everywhere you go. Every player you bring in, every coach, every decision you make is a big risk. And those are just the circumstances you have to live with when you're competing at the highest level of the sport.
That's right. Absolutely. We'll get to your chats, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, I know it's post game, but let's just not even relive that Arkansas-Texas game and move on to more important things like the coaching search and your chats. We'll do that in a second, but I want to remind everybody that OZK Insurance is our official insurance company here of Inside Arkansas, because they make insurance simple again. As a 100% independent agency, they shop the entire marketplace to deliver the best combination of cost as well as coverage, saving you both time and money, two things that are extremely important these days. Whether it's home, auto, boat, motorcycle, life, or commercial insurance, their friendly team has access to a wide range of flexible options designed just for you. They serve Northwest and Central Arkansas, including Bentonville, Centerton, Fayetteville, Little Rock, Hot Springs, and Springdale, and beyond. So let OZK Insurance be the trusted advisor you never knew you needed. And they have over 600 five-star Google reviews. That's right, 600 five-star Google reviews. So start with a free online quote today at ozkinsurance.com, or you can call 479-715-4200. That's 479-715-4200. It's OZK Insurance, protection made simple. All right, let's get to some of your chats, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll do our best to answer all the burning questions of the coaching search. But let's see. We'll start with Nick Ehrman. Says, did Hunter Yurachek have a relationship with Campbell? Didn't we try to hire him in 2019?
I don't know if he has a relationship with him or not. Was that the cycle before that though?
See, I thought it was too. I thought it was during the Chad Morris cycle.
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't the Pittman, because the Pittman one before Pittman was mainly like Kiffin, Drinkwitz, Norvell. Yeah. I don't remember
was both, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember Campbell being there, but yeah, it was probably during that case, if that was the case. And if so, Yurachek probably did not have that, because Yurachek like literally was just the AD, and they just got hired as the AD, so they probably didn't make that happen.
I think it's also possible that these guys bump elbows with hundreds of coaches and administrators around the country, and that, not all of them have like lasting, lifelong relationships. Because frankly, him and Yurachek are going to have quite the relationship if he's going to pull this one off.
That's right. Guy Hayden just says, if we hire Silverfield, I will January 6th, whatever place I need to. Rational statement there. I just love, and I've used it too, so I'm not hating on it. I just love how like the January 6th thing has just become a thing. Like, how many times has someone in Arkansas fans threatened the January 6th, the Broyle Center, because of some decision to be made? It cracks me up.
The anniversary's around the corner. You know what I mean? Timing wise, the press conference will be about a month. It'll probably be December 6th. So we might have to change it to December 6th.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, Nick Ehrman said, Morris, Golish, Silverfield are same as Chad Morris and Sam Pittman. G5 coaches, maybe one good year against crap competition. How is it different?
We don't know.
Chad Morris had a losing record at SMU. He went 2-10 one of his years at SMU, and I think he was like 2-10, 5-7, 7-5, or something like that. Which, I don't think you will see a head coach in the SEC get hired with a resume like that. It happened with Gene Chizik. I think he had a losing record at his previous stop, and then Chad Morris. I think those are like the only two guys I can ever remember in my lifetime being hired with a losing record at their previous stop. And so all of these guys, frankly, are way more accomplished than Chad Morris was when he got the head coaching job at Arkansas. Now, is it a crazy wide margin? No. But I also think like Chad Morris is probably more of an outlier than he is the rule. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Chad Morris is a complete disaster top to bottom, and the whole staff was a bad thing. I maybe these guys will be that bad. I just that's saying a lot.
I understand the the consternation about it. Like I roll my eyes at we can't hire Morris because of Chad Morris, but the thought of you tried a similar type of thing and it hasn't gone well, I get it. Why people feel some type of way about it.
Yeah, but I'm also like, you just got to use things in context, man. Like, Silverfield, for instance, the one that seems to everyone be poo-pooing the most on this, he's got the best head coaching record of any of them. Like, that's what's so funny. It's like he's 50-24. That's pretty good, but it's the one that most people want the least. At least I just put out a voting, by the way, guys, of just those 4 names, because I was like, hey, 4 names, might as well put a vote. Alex Golish is leading the way at 44%. Eric Morris at 32%, Kane Womack at 18%, and Silverfield at 6%. So kind of gives you an idea of where people's mindsets are at.
Womack over Silverfield, eh?
Yeah, Silverfield must have pissed in somebody's Wheaties or something, man.
The thing about Womack that I think helps him is that nobody has seen Womack fail.
It's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? It's a hypothetical, so you can talk yourself into whatever you want.
Man, you know what's so exciting, guys, is I haven't been able to use quite some time, and I'm really excited to do it. But did that play?
Oh no,
it didn't play.
It played, but what happened?
You got a super chat.
Oh, big super chat.
Yeah, okay. That's it. Yeah, I was nervous about it.
Normally, I see it pop up in the chat.
Yeah, Jeremy, our guy Jeremy, who I see at basketball games every time I go and ends up being in the same spot. Yeah. But he says, Jen and I just showing some love to Inside Arkansas. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Jeremy. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you and your wife and your family and your support. One of the few people that we've seen out when they've been rocking Inside Arkansas gear, and they're just great supporters, great people, and a great picture with John Daly. So thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you, bud.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I love this from Josh Byers. He says, I'm always hopeful, but at this point, I trust a $10 crackhead more than this AD. I don't know what a $10 crackhead is, but like I said a month ago, I've seen this movie before. I know how it ends. Well, that's your prerogative. I mean, if that's what you want to do, Josh, I get it, but you can't hate on people if they want to be hopeful in the situation either.
Hey, if they pulled off a Matt Campbell, then your check's off the hook. If they get Golish or Morris, I'm going to stop talking bad about him for at least 2 calendar weeks.
Maybe 10 days.
Fair enough. Yeah. I might even say the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I might even
yeah, exactly. It might be a New Year's resolution to have an open mind moving forward. That's what I might do. Yeah.
Yeah. I won't even have anything good to say about him. Just not actively saying bad things about him.
Right. Let's see. Man, that Wingstop's killing me. PHF Bomb Hog says, how much stock are we putting in Bobby Bones' tweets and podcasts? Thoughts on coaching search? He seems to think with certainty it's someone off board. I was talking to Bobby about this, and I mean, I guess I can see how people looked at it, but I don't know. I didn't take his tweet that he was for sure saying that it's for sure going to be somebody that hasn't been mentioned at all. It's more about there's an amount of people that are getting second interviews, and certain ones have and have not, but the ones that have gotten second interviews that haven't been mentioned a whole lot could be one of them. It was kind of a convoluted thing, but I don't think he's saying, at least from my conversation with him, that he's like, oh, I know exactly who it is, and it's somebody that none of y'all are going to know.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
By the way, I'm not here refuting what anyone is reporting. You know, people who are out there saying Campbell's in the mix or Arkansas has been in contact with Campbell or anything like that. I'm not doing that. I think it's a long shot. Like, I hope that it happens, but I'm not sitting here saying, no, I've been adamantly told that they've never spoken to him and he blocked Hunter Yurachek's calls. I don't know. But I am putting, I think, more stock into what Thamel said than, well, pretty much everyone. So
Can I quote Star Wars real quick?
Yeah.
As is tradition.
I always think about this moment whenever Luke is trying to convince Han to hang out with him, and he's like, hey, Leia's rich, she'll pay you. And he was like, how much? And he was like, well, more than you can imagine. And he was like, I can imagine a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
he's like, what do you mean more than I can imagine? Because I can imagine a lot. I think when Bobby Bones says, oh, yeah, it's a guy that no one's thought about, or hey, it's a guy that you haven't heard of, or a guy that hasn't been mentioned. Well, by who? Like, what is he? Did he say it's a guy that hasn't been mentioned on hogsports.com's message board? It's a guy that has not been mentioned on the Inside Arkansas live show. It's a guy that, did he specify? And so when it's vague like that, I'm not here to like dispute. I'm not here to whatever. And I John had his conversation with him. I just don't know. Like, I don't know what that means. So it's like, I can't give you a thought on how much you should trust it because I don't know what that sentence means.
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal. As I keep saying, I know it's what we're living in the moment. There's going to be a coach hired at Arkansas. And when that coach is hired, all of the stuff that we've been hearing one way or the other, something's going to come out to where it's going to make sense. Okay. Like, all right, so where was it actually at? Who was it actually dealing with? What was actually going on? It's all going to come to fruition. It's just a matter of time. But I will say, and I think, let me make sure I didn't miss any of those. Oh yeah. Real quick. Let's see. Filthy Tom says Eric Morris and Kane Archer could feed families.
If it's Eric Morris as a coach, he's not bringing Kane Archer. I don't know that for a fact because don't quote me on that because I don't know what their relationship is like. I would imagine he would bring that quarterback that that diamond in the rough that he found, that messmaker kid. I think he would be his quarterback.
Bring him, keep KJ, and bring Kane Archer in. Let's just get weird.
By the way, real quick,
you have your options.
I don't.
Oh man, he's just about to go off. He's just about to go off. I'll tell you what, though, I did want to bring this up, and this is something by the time he gets back, we can talk about too. I saw someone in the chat, and I didn't see it, but somebody was asking me, I think they even asked Ellis about it too, about Kane Womack, because that's one of the names. And again, we may have to, on Monday or something, maybe have to do a making the case for Kane Womack, now that he's kind of officially in the mix. Why I wouldn't like him, and I'm going to be honest about it. It's like, I went to high school with Kane Womack. He's a year or two older than me. He's got Arkansas connections. He's from Fayetteville. He played at Arkansas. His dad is a coach, Alabama defensive coordinator. In fact, guys, I just got a DM from Neil McCready, literally just like now, saying Kane would do a great job. He's a star, wonderful guy, just unprompted, which is great and all. I would root for him. I'd support him. I'd be all about it. I'm just saying of the ones that it would be like, okay, so did that mean you missed on Eric Morris? You missed on Alex Golish? Like you settled for it. And I don't mean that in an insulting way. It's just, that's the kind of vibe it would get. That's why I would not be a fan of that, because if he was truly your number one guy and he was the one we heard from the start, okay. But the fact that he was almost like a late addition because you needed somebody in there. It's like me getting an invite to Eric Musselman's Halloween party. Like he only had a certain amount of invites and someone bailed at the last minute and he's like, we'll give it to this guy. It's like, oh man, cool. Just doesn't get it going. But I'd support him. I'd root for him. I would hope he would do really well and I'd give him a shot, but it just wouldn't give me the same feelings as some of the other guys.
I see where you're coming from.
Since my last take got cut short due to the internet, can I respond to John here? I think with Kane Womack, there's all these coaches, it's context based. And so every single coach that's on the list or that you can think of, it's like, if they're in the right context with the right quarterback, they get the right people on staff and, they get a huge amount of NIL, all these guys could have success. And I hope people realize that. Like even someone like Chad Morris, who we hate and is the dumbest coach on Arkansas ever, he was a part of like national championship level teams. He was, and was he a big part of it? Maybe he wasn't as big as we thought, but it's like all of these guys in the right context can do great work and know how to win football games and know how to compete at a high level. And so it's like all these guys you could make a case for. I just think with some like Kane, who's never been a head coach before and all that, and we just went through that, there's just more variables that would be unknown than someone like, for example, Matt Campbell, where there are a lot of variables that would not be unknown with Matt Campbell. You would not have to worry about your team's physicality. You would not have to worry about their focus, his ability to lead men, look at a locker room, go on the road, do all these things that I'm not saying Kane Womack can't do, but it's like those are just undetermined. And so if Kane Womack is who you hire as your head coach, you want to talk about risk, there are a lot of unknowns that we would have to find out in real time that I necessarily don't.
Internet's killing him. Too many live streams. What about you, Curtis? What do you think of the Kane Womack deal?
Same. You know what I mean? Like, I understand. I didn't think that this would be a situation where Arkansas went the coordinator route or got to the coordinator route. Like I said earlier, I understand the connections that could make it endearing to some. I like the Bama angle. He has head coaching experience. He won 10 games in a crappy program. Like, I could talk myself into it. It just, from an optics standpoint, I think it would be a tougher sell than many of the names that we've talked about. I think for just very obvious reasons there. So that's where I land on it.
Yeah, I would hope and pray that he'd do really well. It'd be interesting to see the staff. And I know he has some head coaching experience, which is also very helpful too. He was at South Alabama for 3 years, went 5-7.
Win, man. So
yeah. Went 5-7 his first year, 10-3 in his next year, then 7-6.
They beat somebody one of those years.
Like during the season or in the bowl game?
I feel like they beat like an SEC team. Did like South Carolina lose to South Alabama?
Let's see. I'm looking at their big year. The year that they
no, you know who it was? Was it Oklahoma State lost to South Alabama?
Yeah, I think that does sound. Yes, it was Oklahoma State. They went to Oklahoma State and beat them 33-7, which pretty much is like started the beginning of the end for Mike Gundy.
That's the best case for Kane Womack anyone could make. He took Snoopy, Marquise Robinson into Stillwater and beat Mike Gundy. That's the best case for Kane Womack you can make out of anything.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. By the way, did Oklahoma State win tonight for their first Power 5 win since Arkansas? Did they do that?
Beat?
No, I knew that they were in a contention for it. There was a close game. I don't know. It's just not that it matters. I know people are in coaching search, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, that would be another feather in the cap. Other teams getting other big wins, or at least getting that. Oh,
17-14.
Who was it too?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Well, it's tough break.
Dude,
1-10.
Pittsburgh is up 28-0 on Georgia Tech right now, by the way.
I hate
Georgia Tech. 9-1 Georgia Tech is down 28-0.
Everything's stupid. It's so dumb. A few more of your chats here. Let's see. Also, another one from Josh Byer says, I agree, Curtis. Just get us one of those head coach. I'm on board. Hope y'all understand. It's just after the last 14 years, Hog fans shouldn't have to settle.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. And everyone has their own parameters when it comes to this. And so you have to choose what is settling and what's not, because some people would be excited about, these one of these up and comers or whatever. Some people might not. They wanted, if it's not Franklin or Campbell or Lashley, somebody like that, then they haven't done their job or whatever. So I get it. Like, everybody is entitled to feel however they want about these hires. And if that's settling for you and that pisses you off, then sure, feel that way. I hope you come around if that winds up being the case. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to go into a new era frustrated and, already kind of checked out on a coach or whatever. But I understand, like people want more. That's been the whole situation with Pittman up until this year when it's just completely gone off the rails. But it's been that like mediocrity kind of deal. We've had so many conversations about it. So if they settled for what you perceive in your heart to be mediocre, then I could understand why you would be frustrated about that or underwhelmed or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I would also argue gently that like the last 14 years is why the university has to settle. I get why the fans shouldn't be asked to keep suffering and all that, but it's like that context is why the university is in a position where they're quote unquote settling. Cause it's like, what else are they going to do? They don't have the leverage right now.
Yeah. Again, it's just everybody's all over the place in this whole thing, man. I just saw our producer Cameron said that North Texas is down 14-0 to Rice. So it's
they're 14-7. They just had a 74-yard touchdown.
Hey, listen,
come on, Cameron.
It's dollar beer night over there. So
yeah, listen, it's going to get a little drunk.
Up for a big epic comeback in front of the drunk student section, which, by the way, I got a picture from my buddy that's at the game. Pretty good crowd for Rice.
Yeah.
Lower bowl fill,
Yeah.
Did they go beer? Did they go through with it or did they get bullied out of it?
Yes, they went through with it. He just said they had signs up on campus that just said free beer. And they were like, hey, y'all got to take those down. You can't, we can't have signs on a college campus that say free beer.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Titan Pig, appreciate the super chat. He goes, maybe Womack is the best option and keeps Bobby as OC. I think that is our best route. Honestly, everyone can be happy, new blood, and keep Bobby as OC so he can focus on offense. Win-win.
This is the loser's mindset trap that they walked y'all right into. Y'all walked right into this. How can we have the cheapest? This is what Hunter Yurachek wants you to believe, Titan Pig. I do want you to understand that. Hunter Yurachek would love for this to be the case because that would mean he would have to do the least amount of work and spend the least amount of money. And this is what they want you to believe.
Yeah. I see you followed up.
This is settling.
He followed up with saying it would make both sides of the fan base happy. And I understand what you're saying, because there is a loud Bobby Petrino coalition out there. Don't do this. Don't do this. Because I mean, this program, if we have not come to terms by now that they need a fresh start, a completely clean slate and a new chapter, I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand that. So I really sincerely hope that is not a route that they go or consider.
Yeah, same here. Same here. We'll continue to get to your chats, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in. But remember that Go Lab Red is your place to go for all of your game day tradition, whether it's football and even basketball. They have the best deals going on when it comes to their progressive wings. They do it for every Razorback game. The more points that get scored, the more discount you get on their incredible wings. They start at $1, and it starts going down from there. They have a lot of rules in place to make sure that you play by the rules, because rules are important when it comes to that. But hey, a lot of these cases, you end up getting free wings by the end of the night, which who could ever have any issue with that? We know we sure don't. But not only that do they have, but they have the Goat Lab brews like Razorback, Tusk Light, and don't forget their signature burgers as well. So you got to check them out. It's the greatest place, the newest place, so close to campus right there at 1214 North Garland Avenue. It is Goat Lab Red, your new game day tradition here in Fayetteville. All right, so some more of your chats. Let's see. You got Hayden says, we must quote Star Wars on this show. It's a trap. Admiral Akbar, it's a trap, is the quote I believe that will serve best in this search. So for what it's worth. Thank you, Hayden.
I'm nodding my head. I don't understand, but I'm nodding my head in agreement.
Curtis, I bet you've seen the It's a Trap meme and you just didn't realize it.
Probably.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen a GIF of It's a Trap, that's our boy Akbar. That's my computer lock screen.
Yeah. Let's see. Cat John Nice says, be clowning to hire a G5 coach instead of BP and KJ. All right, well, I don't know.
I'm respectfully declining to respond to this comment because I made a promise at the beginning of the show that I was going to be nice.
Yeah, it's just
be clowning.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you for the super chat though.
It's a Saturday, free beer night at people's houses. I'm sure that's just how it goes.
Be clowning.
Yes,
start using that.
There you go. Yeah, I've heard it once before, but I never really thought it was a real word. Let's see. Angel says, when was the last time Arkansas had a head coach from Arkansas besides intermittent? I mean,
Grove, Oklahoma's not Arkansas, but like,
might as well be.
He's Arkansas now.
Yeah.
Sam Pittman.
Barry Linney served 2 games as the head coach.
It's true. It's true. So yeah, but if you're talking about like full time, actually, has a birth certificate in the county of state of Arkansas, it would be Houston Nutt. Let's see. You just got
the GOAT, our king.
Stop. We got a few just random super chats here with no comments, but maybe there is some. But there it is. Okay, so
Arkansas needs cash.
Jay Reich just says Arkansas needs cash.
Cash Archer.
Apparently, inside Arkansas needs cash because that's why you just gave it to us. But we appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah,
thank you. Appreciate it. Also,
and they do. You know what I mean? Like,
it's important.
Maybe they have it, maybe they don't, but they'll never have enough. So
we'll always need cash. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's see. Joey Mack is number 1. Gave us a super chat, but he also has a comment. I've got it right here. Yeah. Says, does the boosters and/or money guys not have a huge say in this? Because I would feel that the way they wouldn't drop a lot of money to any of these 4 coaches.
I mean, they're absolutely influential. It's their money. You know what I mean? Like, you're just not going to invest hundreds of thousands or in cases millions of dollars into anything without having some say in it. You know what I mean? Or knowing at least what you're getting yourself into before you do it. So no, they absolutely do. And some might be super excited about what's going on and donate more. Some might be pissed off about it because it's not their guy or something. And they don't want to be a part of it, or they drop their donation. Like it's just like the way you feel about whatever this hire is. These folks are going to have to make their own decisions when it comes to that. I don't think there's a whole bunch of people who are out there that are just blindly like, here, Hunter, take my money. And I trust you to just go do what you please with it. They might say, hey, I'll pledge to you up to this much, like, earmark me for it. But if he comes to him and says, hey, we're getting ready to go with Ryan Silverfield, and they say, oh, never mind, just kidding. You know what I mean?
Well, and so also I'm going to politely, and this is being me, I swear I'm being nice. I'm going to politely disagree with this comment because he says people, the bigger jobs opened up. Those days are over. The bigger programs are the ones with money. While that is true to an extent that obviously money is going to rule all, I don't know if I buy that Arkansas didn't have enough money for James Franklin or that they didn't have enough money for Matt Campbell or for, someone else. But just because you have the money doesn't mean that other people don't also have that same money and that coach is now going to want to go to you. Because even if you went to Matt Campbell and you're like, hey, man, we'll triple your salary, he doesn't have to say yes, to your program and your vision and what you want. And so it's like we're never going to get those details of like, yeah, Arkansas offered this, and then whenever the conversation got to here, they stopped. Like, we won't get those details, but I don't know if money is what's like keeping Arkansas from hiring the best coaches. I think even if you have a coach agree to those terms, he could agree to those same terms with LSU, Florida, Auburn. And so it's just a different tier of guy sometimes.
Yeah. And also just to add to that real quick, as far as the business side, because obviously as a business owner and I watch Mad Men, here's the thing about people that will be in that position when it comes to their money. They can look at it from an investment of, okay, so say if they needed a new CEO and they could go out and they could get the CEO from another major company that's going to cost them $30 million a year. Or they can go out and they can get a CEO at a smaller company with high level potential and only pay him $15 million. A lot of cases, they're going to go for that $15 million CEO. And that's what these business people, they're going to make money and they're going to take the investments and everything based on, hey, what's the ROI? What's the return on this? And so just to think of like, hey, because I think even heard, what was the guy's name? Palmer. Was he on the call today? I think it was Palmer, Jesse Palmer. I have no problem with him, but I just get so sick of everyone just being so stupid about Arkansas, where it's just, they've been here 3 times and they're just like, I'll tell you what, Arkansas is just like Texas Tech, Walmart, Tyson. Like, I mean, they could just be, they could be Texas Tech. And I'm just,
he said the Walmart family, I believe.
Yes. It makes me so mad because I'm like, you guys don't even understand it. You just think that like Doug McMillan is just chilling over there watching every Razorback game and just being like waiting for the call from Yurchek so he has a blank check just to send him. I'm like, this is just not the case. Trust me, we all wish it was. It would be great if that was the case. But sometimes I just think people get so outside of Arkansas, wrapped up in like Walmart money. They must give a lot. It's like, no, they don't, because they're big in the academic side of things. That's why they have the Walton College of Business over there.
And to your point, by the way, John, and I know some people might say, oh, so that means they're like not willing to spend money. I think if you convince them, hey, we've got a guy in like James Franklin that we got a big fish we can go after, I do believe Arkansas would have, if James Franklin had liked what he heard and would have been all in, I think Arkansas could have ponied up and given him, 10, 11 million a year, done what they needed to do. And, you maybe have those guys on board, but that's the question people have been asking. Does that same bag go to Eric Morris? Does that same bag go to Silverfield? And the answer is probably not, but, you just don't know. It's now a whole different conversation. It's now a new set of circumstances. And so, yeah, it's not like these guys just have an unlimited cash flow that they're going to give and it doesn't matter.
Right. Let's see. Okay, I got super chats. We appreciate it, guys. Let's see. Hunter just says, how do I get an Inside Arkansas Discord link? Just DM me and I'll send it to you. Just DM me on Twitter. Jay Rice says, Arkansas needs a lot more than $1.99. Inside Arkansas needs the Razorbacks to win and some more cash. Woo pig, winky face.
All these things are true.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of facts there.
Yeah, facts. We appreciate it though. Sharkansas says, I don't have much to say other than I want nice things and to be excited about football for once.
You and me both, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I care about here.
Yep. I mean, again, I just want my Hogs to win. That's all we want. We just want them to win, no matter the sport. Ryan says, trash AD, trash NIL. Why is this job attractive? Well,
what would make it attractive is if they can sell whatever candidate that's no longer the case. Yeah. I mean, it's that simple. You know what I mean? Because the outside perception going into it was that. So Hunter would have to sell himself to a candidate, and they would have to show proof of concept with the influx of cash and everything into the program and what the NIL is going to look like. You just got to sell it. Fake it till you make it, even, if that's what you have to do. But that's the answer,
Right.
Or you can do the thing about like, oh, SEC or whatever, but that's not as attractive as people think it is. If you're near the bottom with resources in the SEC, it's a damn disaster waiting to happen. So it's all about the sell.
Well, and let me, on top of what you said too, like it's always about the grass being greener type thing. If you're, say, Eric Morris at North Texas, you have a bad situation with your NIL down there. You're in a conference, it's struggling, but you're having a nice year. Arkansas may not be one of those places that you look at as some sort of like trash because it's a better situation than what you're in now. And I think that that's something you got to take into consideration. I don't think Eric Morris or even it's Alex Golish is sitting there being like, Arkansas is so much lower than what I have going on. I wouldn't even go that route. It's like, no, it's not that. That's not how they look at it, man. These guys, especially the younger ones, they want challenges, man. They have the ego on them, and that's the type of person you need. And I reiterate this: you need someone with an ego that says, "I don't care what school I'm at, I'm going to win." Like it's like I don't care. The Razorbacks, that's great, that's cool. Give me the pig, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat everybody. That's what you want to have. Now you need to set them up for success, but you want them to have the personality where they don't look at a place like Arkansas, which is not as bad as what, people say it's like worse in the SEC, but it's like also you want someone that looks at it at a small job like North Texas or whatever and says, hey, it's better than what I'm doing now, and I bet you I can win over there. That's the type of coach you want.
100%. And I know we've been saying that Arkansas football is not in the same position right now that Arkansas basketball was in, 18 months ago. But think about it. Trash AD, trash NIL. Curtis, you can confirm the trash NIL was kind of a factor of Arkansas when they had that coaching search. That was a part of why Muss left, was because he was not thrilled about the NIL situation. And they had the exact same AD they have now. They convinced John Calipari that, one, they didn't have a trash AD. Good job on Hunter Yurachek for doing that. But also they convinced him, hey, we'll supplement you with a lot of funds, which they did. And like we've said many times, I don't think they regret. And you're 100% right, John, in terms of this job's not attractive, which is why Arkansas's all the guys on that list are guys that don't have a choice. Alex Golish, of course you're going to take the Arkansas job if you can get it. Eric Morris, of course you're going to take the Arkansas job because compared to what you're doing, that's why we've always been skeptical of the Matt Campbell thing of like, why would Matt Campbell leave, maybe not even Iowa State, but why would he pass up on these other opportunities just to go to Arkansas? And why would a sitting head coach like Kenny Dillingham leave his program? So to answer your question, Ryan, it's not that attractive nationally.
Man.
But if you're going to get a guy like that, you got to sell it to be the case.
That's right. You guys know each other so well, you finish each other's sentences.
Hunter Yurachek, how big of an old boy are you?
That's right. Roy D. Mercer. That's the thing is like going back, and I know, I'm not trying to rehash old stuff, but it's like, that's the importance of not saying things like we're not financially set up to win a championship here at Arkansas. And you say that publicly as the athletic director. Like those are the things that are important because what does that immediately do? It puts down the reputation and it doesn't make you as attractive for things like this or saying, hey, we didn't financially support Sam Pittman. Even if that's changed now, that's great and it should. But people are going to, I guarantee you, every single coach and agent and everybody that interviewed with Arkansas and Hunter Yurachek, 1,000% brought up that quote or that clip and said, hey, you said this. How do I know I'm going to be taken care of? I guarantee you everyone did that. And so, you also got to take that in consideration. Let's see. A few other chats here too. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm just loving that nobody is talking about the Texas game. It's my favorite.
Hey, we touched on it.
Yeah. They lost. They lost. And I love the Texas flexing now, like Adam Schefter putting out a huge tweet about Arch Manning's day today. And I'm like, dude, they come on. But I did see real quick, though, about the Texas deal. Apparently, Bobby said that this is for the first, he says, quote, for the first time, I felt like there was a couple of guys on the team that's attitude wasn't where it needed to be, and that's not what we want. So it looks like it's about to come crumbling down. So,
well, yeah, I mean, here we are.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
One more week to go here. Arkansas, it's not like Arkansas is allergic to completely letting go of the rope in a season finale against Missouri at home.
That's right.
So,
not that happened literally 2 years ago. Yeah.
By the way, do we agree that Talon, I know he did his little fake conversation with the trainer. Talon got benched today. Is that fair to say?
Had to have, man.
We watched the interaction happen. That was not a conversation with the trainer. Oh, he's not going to be ready. KJ, get ready. That was, he made a really stupid play and he turned right around, went right to KJ Jackson and was like, start warming up. And then KJ came off and started fake limping and all that. And then his conversation ended and he continued to not be in the game. They they went with a different guy, and he, did what he normally does.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry, I'm going back to the coaching search.
No, you're good.
Everybody else. But I know we talked about Bobby Bones and everything. I just see here that he was having a little bit of a back and forth with Courtney Mims, but they were talking about all that. And his last tweet that he put out there is, it'll probably be one of the four, talking about the guys there that Thamel had said, which means it became a money issue because there were/are more qualified coaches that wanted the job. So there you have it. Do your pockets entice these candidates, or do you have your funds up to get a bigger name?
I mean,
according to that list, we have our answer, and then we'll see what who they actually wind up hiring. But that's what he said. I know we were talking about the cryptic nature of his tweet the other day, so just thought I'd throw that in there.
No, and that's good because it's. This is always another fear of Arkansas. It's like, was it ever going to be a money issue? And if so, why? Why would it become a money issue? It did that with James Franklin. I don't care what anybody says. Any idiots out there, they're just like, James Franklin was never in the mix. No, stop lying. He was. You missed. You whiffed. And seeing Virginia Tech's contract of what they got him for, we even talked about it maybe this morning or yesterday. I forgot when, guys. But we talked about James Franklin's contract over at Virginia Tech. We're like, Arkansas couldn't compete with that. They couldn't do that. And that's when I started getting that feeling in my stomach. Oh no, is this the money issue that everyone was trying to avoid? And if that's the case and all that, it could very well.
It wasn't a crazy offer at all. That Virginia Tech one. It wasn't a crazy Godfather offer that you can't match, right? I mean, I know that it's front or back loaded, so it looks better up front, but it's like even the year 3 and 4 or 5 or whatever, $12 million. It's not like a out of this world number, especially when you're paying $4 million the first year.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I think it's what is it, $9 million per year, basically, is what it is, or $8 million.
Yeah, something like that. More super chats coming in. Really appreciate it, folks. Chris says several of these coaches that we actually have a real chance at can get us in the top 25 to 30, and that would be incredible at this point.
Yeah,
which is true.
I hope so. There's I think there's a volatile nature to this search just because people feel snake bitten by some of the recent hirings that have happened. I get it, but there's a certain level of volatility involved here. No matter who you get, it could work out great, and you can sell yourself on some of these guys. I think a few of these candidates have better odds than others of getting the job done there. They could all fail. James Franklin could have came here and failed. Matt Campbell could come here and fail. Those are all things that are on the table there. But yeah, I mean, it's every year power conference schools take group of 5 coaches and they wind up being really good. And then some of them wind up being really bad. But if Arkansas goes this route, it's not something that's unique to them. It happens every year.
That's right.
If it works out this time.
Please. Let's see. Also, Bill, appreciate the super chat, but then he goes and says, Hunter Yurchek said a couple weeks ago that he wanted a defensive-minded coach that knocks everyone except Womack out. Did Yurchek say that, or was that just the report?
It was reported, yeah.
Okay.
Which, yeah, I mean, if that's true, then sure.
Yeah. But
to be fair, in that moment when that was reported, we kind of were like, I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Again, it's not poo-pooing on the report. I'm sure whoever put that out there was told that. But you never know with these coaching searches what's real and what's not. That seems interesting to me, given all the names that have been connected, not just now, but the entire time. And like the James Franklin thing, you kind of went after him. The Rhett Lashley stuff early on, it's like, oh, okay, so suddenly it's a defensive guy. That seems weird because it's counter to everything we knew about the search leading up to that point. But
yeah, what was I going to say about that? Yeah, it's just smoke screens and whatnot. Just throw it in there, smoke screens.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Let's see. Our guy Hayden comes back in and says, officially throwing my hat in the ring to be the next AD. I will take a quarter of Hunter Yurchek's salary. My business model is pit all the billionaires against one another and make them pony up for more in each sport.
Let's do that.
You're hired.
You're in, dude.
Yeah. Submit your resume to the board of trustees. We'll send them a screenshot of this super chat and says it's $10 worth of a resume, and we'll make it happen for you. So Man, yeah, appreciate all this. Let's see. Flying Medic says, I will say this morning, Franklin spoke with ESPN during the Virginia Tech game, and from what it sounded like, he wasn't impressed with what he got from Arkansas. He talked about it, how Virginia Tech had a plan in place already.
This is what I was alluding to earlier when I was like, I don't know if it's necessarily Arkansas was too poor to get James Franklin.
Yeah, and they did have a plan in place, and that was one thing about them. As soon as that job came open, they had the huge announcement of tens of millions of dollars that they were flooding into their athletic department, their football program, and that was real, and that was all there. It doesn't mean that Arkansas hasn't made strides or hasn't improved their situation by a great deal or whatever, but you don't have that tangible stuff right there. It goes back to those are the kinds of things that you have to be able to pitch to these candidates and sell them on. It's not all about, hey, we're going to interview this guy and see if he's a fit for Arkansas, and then if he is, we'll take him. He's also kind of interviewing you as a program to see if that's the move to make, no matter who it is. But yeah, I felt that too. And hey, for a while there, I was thinking, well, James Franklin might've wanted the moon and the stars there. And then, like we were just talking about, after seeing some of the details, that kind of got me too, of like, sheesh, to almost to where I was like, man, some of these folks who were saying, well, he was never a serious candidate or whatever. Anyway, I was kind of like, I kind of hope that's true based on what, those details there.
Since we're referencing Trey Biddy reports, which shout out to Trey Biddy, that was one thing that he had said, was that James Franklin did some inquiring on Arkansas, that he reached out to people trying to find stuff out. And so we don't know for sure that that's who he was referencing, comparing Virginia Tech's plan to someone else. But I mean, I think it's very likely that he talked to someone who was like, hey, yeah, Arkansas might be a mess in the NIL situations, up in the air. You would be viewed as a savior.
Yeah. And I would even take it a step further too, because again, we don't know all who was contacted, but I would just say that there's probably a good possibility that some of the people, or at least representatives of the people that he talked to, were those who may have been not willing to donate as much, and was inquiring as to maybe why that was, or to something to change the mind, or to get where their mind was at and why they weren't. So there was just a lot of stuff that, hey, kudos to James Franklin though, because let's be honest, I mean, he's got to do his due diligence. And, he's a smart man for it. All right, just a few more here. Heartbroken Hog for Super Chat. Appreciate it, man. He goes, all four of those coaches have potential to be good, but every single one of them will be a DOA if the NIL isn't there. The first portal class is massive, which is very true. Very true. Like, you don't want to put so much pressure on it as far as the wins, losses, like first year, because, looking at the schedule and everything. But as far as, if you keep any of these players, but what it looks like bringing them in, are they ones that you get excited about? Are they ones that a lot of people were seeking after? What's your quarterback? Like, what's that going to look like? I mean, you can't go in there and suddenly we're seeing Arkansas when it comes to portal rankings, no offense to them, but like getting players that you beat out Rice and, just like North Texas for. Like, you just can't do that. Just can't do that.
For sure.
And, geez, man, appreciate it. All these coming in the end. Hayden says, Hunter Yurchek cited hope is not a plan when he canned Mike Anderson, and now it sounds like he is operating on only hope.
Got all of hope in him. But here's the thing about hope, though, Hayden. If you only believe in it when you can see it, it's like the sun. If you only believe in it when you can see it, you'll never make it through the night.
Word. Let's see. You got Finch also for Super Chat. Appreciate it. Not even one good one to end on. It says, come basketball season, Texas better not get in our face. We'll drop them mofos.
Love that.
We're getting the lick back against Texas in basketball for damn sure.
I was thinking about this earlier, and maybe this is all part of a greater plan for Hunter Yurchek. I'm giving him credit here. Maybe Matt Campbell is real. That way in 2 to 3 years, whenever John Calipari decides to hang it up, he can just bring his man TJ Otzelberger down here. And you could just, from Cyclones to Razorbacks and bring the pig back to glory. Love me some Otzelberger, man. He'd be a hell of a coach.
It's you gotta hope in something. It's all part of the plan. Well, hey guys, this was fun doing a post-game show of a game that we didn't talk about because it didn't matter. But hey, it's always fun. But any final thoughts before we roll out of here for the night?
Touchdown, North Texas. 21-14 over Rice.
All right.
Hell yeah. I wish this wasn't so. It gets contentious, these things, and I don't know why. But I do know why. It's because everybody's passionate about who they think is the right hire and getting this program back to where it needs to be. I just like having fun with this, man. I wish people didn't get so upset about it. I get it, but I wish they didn't, because it really is a blast. And when this is all said and done, we talked about it this morning, but like, we'll get to do the whole thing about, okay, well, what's the staff going to look like? And then the portal and building the roster and all that. But there is going to come a day where we go, I kind of miss doing this coaching search thing every day. It was crazy, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to embrace the moments right now.
That's right.
I like
folks.
that, Curtis. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
I thought your final thoughts was the touchdown.
That was just I was going to announce that no matter what. It just happened to come as you were queuing us up for final thoughts. I just wanted to quickly say, shout out to KJ Jackson. I'm not here to do a conversation of like, they should have had him starting all along, and if they had started KJ, we would have won 8-4. I'm not doing that. I just enjoyed seeing KJ Jackson play. I'm sure KJ Jackson enjoyed playing. He got better today. Is that fair to say? Yeah. I mean, you saw him have some ups, have some downs, get hit a few times, take some hits, that's good for him to get in the mud a little bit. And I don't know what the future holds for him or Arkansas, or if those two things are going to be connected, but I'm pulling for the kid, and I enjoyed watching him play. Excited to watch the rest of his career, no matter where it plays out. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And my final thoughts are, folks, we're in the home stretch. I know everybody, all of us want this coaching search to end. Like we want to know who it is, regardless of who it is. You just want it to come to an end, so that way we can start giving our full reactions of no longer speculating, rumor milling, nonsensical DMs, being like, hey, here, what are you hearing about this coach that's been dead for 4 years? Just giving us some real concrete stuff to talk about. But we're almost there. And we're going to keep it going, and we'll have all the announcements, all the updates, everything right here on Inside Arkansas. So be sure to subscribe to us. Be sure to check out all of our podcasts, all of our live streams, wherever they're found. And we are going to have a great week, rest of our weekend. There's no doubt about it. And that'll do it for us today and tonight. For Andrew Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, intern Cameron, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel. On Monday, we'll see you for Inside Arkansas Live. Folks, have a great rest of your night.